as Terry likes to say. So we start by covering the mat with a blanket, because we'll start with some of the somatic movements that I think are really good at getting into the sticky stuff in the hips. And as we practice, I mean, yoga, the asana practice and the somatics, which is really yoga too. So Dear Child has many names. It's about to promote our agility, right? I mean, we want to be able to move with freedom and free of pain. And agility is flexibility and stability that we are looking to marry, just so. So I invite you to come onto your mat. And as you start, you may want to have something under your head. If you find that the chin and the shoulders are popping up a little bit, slide a pillow or blanket under your head. And then straighten your legs out, just slide them out. And scan your body as it is reclined now on the floor. We just switched gravity around a little bit and notice what touches and what doesn't touch. How much of your thighs are touching the floor? How much of your low back is touching the floor? Notice if one hip lies lower than the other side. This all gives us information about what's going on in our body. If the thighs are raised up from the floor, the hip flexors, front of the hips may be a little tight. Likewise, it's like a little bit of a seesaw, because we might be able to get the back of the thighs closer, but then the low back pops up. Again, the psoas, the hip flexors, are snug. You may also find that one side lays flatter. So we have a dominant side, and then we have the side that's just along for the ride. Now I invite you to bend up your knees and place your hands on your belly. And that's just a nice reminder, feedback, that as you breathe in and out, that we are utilizing the mighty diaphragm, the main muscle of breathing. If we are prone to shallow breathing, chest breathing, the diaphragm just sits unused and forgotten. And then we don't get this fascial, this connective tissue drag that is so beneficial for every part of our body. So as you inhale, invite the belly to expand. That means the diaphragm is now contracting and pushing the abdominal contents down. And as you exhale, everything just slides back where it started. So diaphragmatic breathing is so simple. It is one of the most powerful things we can do just for our overall wellness. Practice this every day. We are fortunate that we don't live in an era where we are cinching the waist in, because that right there, you screw up the belly breathing. And we don't wear corsets so much to celebrate. So all of these very ladylike fainting spells, they really originated because they couldn't breathe. Everything was cinched in, and it was a whole life of hyperventilating. So we're doing the opposite. We're irrigating the whole body just by breathing this way. Then I invite you to also begin to explore, can you sense the breath down into the pelvis, into the pelvic floor? The pelvic diaphragm and your breathing diaphragm ideally move in synchronicity. As we breathe and the diaphragm moves down, the pelvic floor moves down as the bottom of the basket. And as you exhale, everything relaxes back up. So we've explored that this week. In somatics, a little bit more than what we'll do in yoga today. The tone of the pelvic floor is absolutely crucial for our hip mobility. So as you exhale next, make the pelvic floor drop a little bit more consciously. Begin to add a little bit of a contraction, moving upward. And then let it go as you breathe in. Maybe a sense of the sits bones drawing together. The tailbone and pubic bone draws a little closer together. And then let all of that go on the in-breath. So we can have a pelvic floor muscle. There are 3 layers that are too tight. And of course, they can also be too loose. Neither is ideal. So we'll use this as an invitation to move into the arch and flatten. Notice as you inhale, that's an invitation to arch. And then as you exhale, draw the pelvic floor up and then draw the lower abdomen in and up. These are the bandhas. Good morning, Sarut. Good to see you. And so just letting the breath invite you into arching and flattening. Don't make it too hard. So we're beginning to invite some movement into the whole hip and sacral pelvis complex. Of course, the spine depends greatly on this. Because L5S1, that's an area. So sacrum vertebrae number 1 and lumbar vertebrae number 5. This area is fraught with all kinds of issues. We'll use the technical term. Because we get stuck. And our hip mobility is what our spine depends on to maintain its ease of movement. And then next time you return to neutral, slide your right leg out. Just let it slide out and let it relax, flopping out. We'll take a deep belly breath here, breathing into the hip. One of those yoga ways of talking. Can you relax a little bit more on the out breath? Let's do that one more time. Take a breath in and see if you can move the breath down into the hip. And then may relax a little bit more as you breathe out. We'll slide the leg up. Draw the knee towards the chest without using your hands. And release the foot back down. And slide it long again. Sliding it back out. And flop. Let it relax completely. A strong muscle is one that can both engage when we need it, but also able to relax completely. It's 2 sides of the same coin. Take an extra breath in, relax the hip completely. And we'll slide it in again. So hip flexors engage. We release the foot back down to the mat. And slide it out long. The muscle that is permanently contracted becomes a very weak muscle. Not because, imagine you're holding a fist for a day or a week. The the muscles begin to atrophy. They are not receiving nourishment, no oxygen, and no material to help rebuild the tissue for cell regeneration because all the doors are shut. Let's do it one more time. Slide the leg up, pulling it in, make it easy. Relax it back down and slide it out. Let it go. And then slide your left leg up. And pause and just sense, how does the right hip complex feel compared to the left? Maybe there's a little bit more ease, a little bit more space. Notice the breath in your lower abdomen. Is there more ease on the right than the left? Maybe there's no difference. And that's okay. Let's bend up the right knee and we'll slide the left knee up, drawing it in. Releasing the foot down. Again, make this as easy as you can. Don't think of it as exercise. Think of it as relaxation. Following the protocol of release, realign, and then we'll strengthen. So don't worry, I'm not going to waste a whole hour of your time on relaxing. Let's slide up again. Pull the knee in. And then place the foot back down, evenly slide it out. Notice if there are jumps and jitters in the movement. And do they flow very easy without restriction? And of course, as always, if you experience discomfort or pain, just back off. Move less. And again, slide the leg in. Foot back down, sliding it out. This is part of your gait. Walking. Can you engage? And if need be, can you put into a full sprint? Are the muscles ready for that full hip flexor contraction? And relax. Let's slide the right leg up. We'll bend the left knee up again. And rolling your right leg, rolling it from the thigh, not the foot, just roll it in and out. So internal and external rotation of the hip. It's a joint with an amazing, at least in theory, mobility potential. And then as you roll the leg out, let's slide that up. My blanket is getting all fussy. So slide the leg up. And then stand the foot up. Release the knee down to the side again. Slide it out long. Roll the leg in. Rolling it out. And slide the knee up. Lifting it up. So keep the foot on the mat. I'm sorry, that was my language. This was terrible. Keep the foot down and then release the knee back out to the side. And as you do so, can you keep this pelvis relatively neutral so that we are isolating this into a hip movement? Roll the leg in, rolling it out, sliding it up. Now we're going to pull the knee. We'll keep pulling the knee up towards the shoulder and take it across. And we'll take it back out to the side again, big circle, sliding it down, rolling the leg in, rolling it out. Begin to drag the knee up, huge circle, pulling it across. taking it back out, big circle, and sliding it back home where we started. Roll the leg in and out. This is all our warriors and side angle poses. Pigeon. Now as you take the leg across, hook the heel across your left knee and relax the knee towards the floor. So the right knee now relaxed toward the floor. And then draw the left knee in and release the left foot back down. Right knee back towards the shoulder. Take it all the way out to the side, rolling it in, rolling it out. So move in a very easy way, coming across, hook the heel, release the knee towards the floor, and pull the knee in. Sherry, can you see what, am I making sense? Pull the knee up like you're tightening it, the bow. No, that'd be the arrow, but you tighten the bow too, and then release it all the way out. Let's do it one more time. Sliding around, coming up, going across. Now we get a little glute. Hook the heel, release the knee down, and pulling in. Last one, release down, arrow back, all the way around. And then slide the left leg out. And again, compare notes. Right hip, belly. What has changed on the right side just from doing these simple movements? We didn't stretch. We engaged the muscles as we invited in the mobility. Stand your right foot up, and let's roll the left leg in and out. We need to give that the same treatment. Rolling it in and out. Again, rolling from the hip, not the foot, because the foot can go a little bit further than the hip can, and then your knee might not be so very happy. And then rolling the foot out, let's slide the knee up and sliding it back out again. We'll just do that a couple of times. So we build the movement. That way we are aware each part of the movement. If there is a cog in the gear, where is that stickiness? Sliding it up, sliding it back out. Well, next time we'll stand the foot up and just explore that. Sliding up. Stand the knee up, I guess is a better way of saying that, and releasing that down. So we invite more and more participants to the party. Are they all eager to be there? How we know is listening and sensing for that jittery and jumpiness. Maybe you had a hip injury. Maybe you haven't. And there's still jitteriness and jumpiness, which just tells a little bit about there is some deep-seated tightness. This is what we are ironing out. Now I think we're ready to begin to take the leg up, standing it up, taking it across. We begin to draw big circles. So just be playful in this. Not rigid. Fluid and easy movement. Sliding it up, creating the big circle, and as best as you can, isolating it in the hip. Just restoring easy hips. From the yoga point of view and the chakras, this is our second chakra. This is our right to feel, senses, and sense of identity. Who am I? Why am I here? And this can get really crowded with other people's opinions, oughts and shoulds. So now we're just doing a little spring cleaning of this component. Resetting it. to factory settings. One more time. Then hook the knee, the heel across. Oh, Lord, I almost forgot because we got to do that little bit extra. Take the knee in. Pull the arrow back. Rolling the leg in and out. Coming across. Hooking it. Knee goes towards the floor before you pull the right knee in. So because we are completely passive in the arms in this one here, there's a lot less risk of overdoing. We are using what is available and we're working from a full mobility point of view. All right. Last one. Finish with the one you're on and release out. And relax. The glute, we got 3 of those guys. Gluteus maximus. Squeeze your right butt cheek and just feel that you have some feedback from the floor. Relax. And then the left. Do they fire with even eagerness? Notice if one is a little slower. If the glutes are not turning on when we take the leg into extension, the foot behind the hip, as when we walk. The low back has to figure out how to do that without this support. And that, again, rarely goes well. So if you have one side that's a little bit lazy, which is very common, now mindfully or consciously begin to tell that, okay, you need to step it up, step it up. So with that awareness, we'll bend up the knees. If you have anything under your head, just move it out as we're coming into a little bridge pose. This is really where the glutes get to shine a little bit. So planting the feet, 4 corners of the feet, and then roll the shoulders under a wee bit. So it's going to be more like a little plank, more so than a bridge pose. But as you begin to press the feet down, squeeze the buns, get them on board. If the glutes are not engaging, the hip cannot go into extension. And how are we going to back bend without hip extension? As you exhale, lower down. Take a full breath in and out. And we repeat. Are the glutes firing? And if you're not sure, your hands are right there. You can take them right to the glutes and say, okay, are you turning on? And if one doesn't seem quite as on, then give it a little extra squeeze. And then slowly release. Release, come down. Let's do that one more time. From the feet pressing down, squeezing the glutes. So if you have a prone to cramping in the hamstrings coming into bridge poses, because the hamstrings, part of what it does the extension to, it has to do it all. And they go like, I don't want that. I don't want that. So let's stop. But the glutes, when they turn on, the hamstrings are much happier. And let's take it down. Let everything relax. Let's draw the knees in. Because that helps release the low back and stretches the glute after having been asked to do more than what they might have been excited about. And then let's roll all the way over onto one side. And we will fold the blanket up. And then place the blanket or towel. Sort of in the middle of the mat. It's going to be for your knees. And have 2 blocks at the top of the mat. This is where you can reach them. I'm going to take them off as we do a little bit of shoulder mobility. So blankets for the knees. Actually telling your knees, I like you. Tucking the toes under and let's stretch back to puppy pose. Another little glute stretch and the hip flexor event. And then inhale, straw through modified plank, lift the heart, keep the elbows straight, and exhale. We move back to puppy pose. And let's come up again. Lifting up, lift the heart, and exhale. Draw back. Inhale forward into our very tall cobra. Flip the feet and then maybe lift the knees. Squeeze the butt. Remember, for extension, glutes have to help out. If you feel back bends in the low back a lot, if it gets crampy back there or irritated, are you using the glutes to bring your hips into extension? Or are we taking it all into the back, lifting up? And then downward facing dog. If downward facing dog is not your friend today, puppy, child's pose, tabletop, we can do a little wiggle bit around. So be again a little playful, maybe swing the hips from side to side, maybe pedaling it out a little bit, whatever feels good. Because this helps get the fascia, again, the connective tissue, moving around shoulders, in the back, the wings, the lats that connects the arms to the low back. If that's tight, everything dams up back there too. Let's inhale forward to plank pose. And take the knees down. Walk the hands back. So we are now in tabletop. And we'll play a little bit with our hip mobility. So left knee stays down, and we're going to take the right knee out to the side. And then lower it down again. So keep your pelvis relatively neutral as you lift and lower the right leg. So that you're not overlifting the hips the pelvis to get the hips up higher. Now we're really putting gluteus medius into piriformis to the task, holding it up, and then pull it towards the shoulder, and back down to a hover, and to the shoulders, but not all the way down, just following it. So this is what we did on our backs, but we changed gravity a little bit here, so it may not feel quite as friendly. Pull it up, hold it up, hold it up, hold it up. And then take it all the way back. Turn the toes down. Turn the toes down. Straight leg back there. Pelvis is neutral. Doesn't that feel like vacation right now after what we just took it through? Now bend the knee. Let's see if we can get the glutes to turn on again. Press the bottom of the foot towards the sky. So now we're taking the knee into extension again. The glutes should fire. Happily. Holding it up, holding it up, holding it up. And release down. All the way. Wag the tail. Did we get the glutes turned on? I know, right? It is your biggest supporter of your back. Gotta get those guys working. The lazy glute syndrome, I didn't come up with that. It is a real thing. Now let's do the other side. Left knee to the side, like a door you're swinging open. Swing it open. And the gluteus medius is notorious for getting weak. Out to the side. How does it feel? Is it smooth and easy, or is this like, I cannot believe I chose yoga today? All right, let's hold it up and then pull it towards the shoulder. And then back down, align with the hip, and then to the shoulder again. And down. Pulling it up. Keep it as high as you can. And hold, 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 but breathe. Breathe and hold, breathe and hold, breathe and hold. And let's take it all the way back. Reaching it back. Pull the belly in and up so we are supported in the spine. Bend the knee. And then take the foot a little closer to the sky. A little closer. A little closer. And holding it up, holding it up, holding it up, holding it up. So this is my lazy glute. My left side is like who, what, where. So that has to get a little conscious help because my hamstring wants to do it. Can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. And let's take the leg down, wag the tail. And then from here, let's stretch back to puppy pose again. And let your elbows just come down. And then take your arms up and do some wrist circles. Circling the wrists. And then little octopus hands. Just good to see it. Squeeze and grab. All right. And we are ready. Come back up. Take your blocks now. Take them onto the mat. And we'll take the right foot up between the blocks. Just a happy little lunge. Lunge the knee forward, and if it travels past the ankle, creep the foot further forward. And then place your hands so they're about under the shoulder, so you're not reaching for the block. Just right there, helping us keep our heart lifted, heart lifted. And let's exhale, draw the hips back, little hamstring event, and inhale forward. Exhaling back, dig the heel down into the mat as you draw back, coming forward. And one more time, drawing back, hold it just for a breath. Wiggle back a little bit there. And we come forward again. Now, begin to hug the inner thighs together. So that's Mula Bandha. Mula Bandha. So you feel how the pelvic floor begins to lift up and the hips are hugging inward. Tuck the back toes under. Without lifting the hips much, move the heel back. Move the heel back. Move the heel back. Nice. It's hard. This is where, if you wanted to take flight, I don't recommend it, and just take your right leg straight forward. You'll be in a full split, but we are not practicing the full split today. And now from here, take the knee back down again. And bend the knee up, bend the knee up. Now look over your right shoulder. Is the leg back there? And take your right hand back, and maybe you can give your left hand a little handshake and say, hello, how you doing? And maybe you're just gonna wave to it. Hey, I see you. There you are. And it's like, not yet. The word is not yet. It's okay. Let's take the blocks out to the sides and wiggle back to downward facing dog. Lift the hips. And if you're feeling a little tightness on one hamstring or the other, just blow the feet out a little bit. And then from here, come forward again to plank pose. Take the knees down and find the blocks again so we can take the left leg up. And lunge the knee forward. Take the foot forward if the knee overshot the ankle. And again, let's get them to agree. So hamstring and hip flexor, it's a twofer. Hamstring on the left leg, it's a little leg. And the right hip flexors get a little leg. You can't have one without the other. So don't make it too hard. But don't make it too easy either. Hold when you go back, just hold for a breath. You can wiggle a little bit here too. Because sometimes it's not the muscles that are tight, sometimes it is the connective tissue. So we're just gonna help it release. And then coming forward. Again, draw the inner thighs together. And you feel again the pelvic floor, Mula Bandha, beginning to engage and lift up, providing support for the bottom of our basket. The hips are hugging inward, and then maybe take the heel back, take the heel back. So it may just be a wee bit, it may not be very far. That's okay, the leg doesn't have to straighten. Lengthen back. While you hug the hips together, hug the hips together, hug the hips together. So stability with mobility. Sorry, stability with flexibility is mobility. We'll take the knee down and then bend the right knee up. That's all hamstring. And we look back over the left shoulder and we say, you there? Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure. Hello. And you can wave too. Just give it a little wave. And take the leg down. And again, travel back to downward facing dog. Or puppy. Or child's pose. Lifting the hips. Waggle, wiggle a bit. And then inhale forward to plank again. So in plank pose, which is our horizontal Tadasana, tailbone is moving towards the heels. The sternum is lengthening forward. Now let the knees come down. Walk the hands back and come up into a kneeling pose. Camel pose. Let the tops of the feet come onto the mat if it's available, or keep them tucked under. That is allowed, though I prefer tops of the feet down. We're just going to take the hands to the hips. Roll the shoulders up and down the back. So camel and bridge pose, very similar, except we can add a little bit of the throat opening here. So as you inhale, lead with the top of the head, drawing an arc back, an even arc. Doesn't have to be the biggest back bends of all times. Notice, let your hips, let your glutes draw into the party. And inhale all the way back up again. And we travel through dog once more. Walk the hands towards the feet. Bend the knees, hands to the hips, and inhale, press all the way up. And then for balance purposes, you may like to go to a wall as we'll play with Natarasana, the king dancer pose. A wall or chair. I'm going to use the hip flexors again. So I'm standing with my right hand on the wall. And I'm going to take my left leg up. So the easiest way to catch the foot is take the knee up so that we say, okay, hip flexors, we're gonna ask you to release, but I'm gonna catch my foot first. So catch your ankle, and then we can begin to draw the leg in so that the knees are aligning, pelvis is aligning. Draw the tailbone towards the floor. Press the ankle or the foot into the hand, into the hand. So create an active bind, letting your glutes help out. On the right is going to be, sorry, on the left is going to be gluteus maximus, big dude, because we're trying to take the leg a little bit into extension. On the left is gluteus medius, that's your stabilizer. You can keep your hand on the wall, or maybe take it to the sky, to the sky. Allow the knee to draw back. Contract your left glute to facilitate this. It has to contract so the psoas can release. And as you kick the foot into the hamstring engages and allows the quads to release. So it's all partner work, all partner work. And take the hand back to the wall and release the foot down. And shake it out a little bit because things can get really sort of stick here, stick. And we should be, I know, it's a good little wiggle break to take. And for the other side, all is nice. Take the knee up in front, catch ankle or top of the foot, and then maneuver it around. Boom. Pelvis is neutral, not hiked up on the right side. Tailbone towards the floor. Kick the foot into the hand, into the hand. Again, that gets the hamstrings engaged. You can feel the back of the leg. And from here, we can begin to maybe draw the knee back a little bit more. We can also take left hand to the sky. Or keep it on the wall. This has all kinds of different elements in the pose. And engage of putting them all together in one fell swoop, just maybe a little bit more than what's enjoyable. Keep it enjoyable, keep it enjoyable. And back to the wall, release down, and wiggle, wiggle. Don't keep tightness around in the hips, right? Now, let's come on to the belly. And a blanket across the hips may just feel really nice because pubic bones can be really not in favor of this pose. Let's come into Sphinx pose, which is, if you think you are about to have a herniation going on in your back, you're just going to need to hang out here for a bit because that can help slip things back in again. But if you have stenosis up the spine, this is not going to be your favorite pose. So everything is not the right thing for everybody. But here we begin to open up the vertebrae on the front, creating length. And we can make it a little bit more active by drawing the tailbone towards the heel, so this is a posterior tilt. You can feel how your glutes begins to engage a little bit, inviting your spine into a back bend. Draw the sternum forward, broaden the collarbone so that the thoracic spine, the upper back, is also part of this. We'll swing the left hand in front, so it just closes in. The hand is where the right elbow is, because now we can use the right elbow for half bow pose. Bend up your foot, your right leg bends up. And then looking over the shoulder, and catch. It's right there. Bringing it in, so close. So use your left hand to maybe create a little bit more back bend, because that's often that we are not able to get back to catch the foot. And again, what you can do too. So share what you can do. You can also come along to the side, and that will allow you to bend up the knee and catch it and then roll back onto the hip. So just the same thing we did in Natarasana. Bend up the hip a little bit and then boom. What do you think? I know, it's like magic, right? Rolling the shoulder back and down. Now kick the foot into the hand. Kick the foot into the hand. Shoulders are drawing back, shoulders are drawing back, shoulders are drawing back. And release. Switch to the other side. Bend up the left leg. And then again, reaching back. And you can let the knee slide out to the side a little bit to catch it, but then once caught, bring the knee back home. Tailbone towards the knees. So this is both a back bend, but it's also hip extension. Two things that travels together a lot. Draw your right shoulder blade down the back towards the spine. Begin to kick the foot into the hand. Kick the foot into the hand. Kick the foot into the hand. And let go. I think we're ready for the big Lebowski. Bend both knees up. There they are. So you can do this with Sphinx bow pose, where you continue to lift and lengthen as you bend the knees in. And of course, for full bow, reach both hands back, catch the feet. So lots of options. Shoulders draws down and together, and then kick the feet into the hands, and maybe lift the knees. And if you lift the knees, the buns really have to turn on. And lower down. Relax the legs. Stack the hands and forehead to the hands and just swing the hips from side to side. Breathing into the low back, breathing into the sacrum. And then I invite you to give it another go, but on your terms, right? So that may be Sphinx pose. That may be where the pose is. It may be half bow pose. It may be full bow pose. It may be nothing at all. Reaching, catching, lifting. And if in full bow, rocking back and forth to massage the belly is an option. And then let go. Let go. Crocodile again. Stack the hands, forehead on the hands, and rock the hips from side to side. And we'll stretch back either to dog or wide knee child's pose. Whichever your body would like right now. And then we're going to find our way onto our back. But before we do, let's take our blankets and stack them one on top of the other. So this would be the hot dog fold. Because then they are ready for Shavasana. So we're getting close. So as you come onto your back, you can just measure. Yeah, that's about where it's going to be good. The measuring is going to be soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. So we've been playing around with different variations this week. So just check, is this a good place? Of course, you can make modification later. What we're going to do first, we're going to draw the knees in. Knees towards the chest. And then let the knees go wide. Let the knees go wide. Hook the forearms behind the knees. Hook the forearms behind the knees. And just let the knees again go as wide as they can. Breathing in and out. Lifting the feet towards the sky. But keep the knees low. So if the knees are lifting up when you lift the feet, just keep them exactly where they are. Keep the feet down so that your knees can relax down towards the shoulders. But if you can lift the feet without the knees lifting up, then maybe catch your ankles or legs. But do the one that is most comfortable. Do the one where your body goes, okay, I can relax into this. And then from here, we'll draw the knees back together. Cross the right leg over the left. So Supta, Garudasana. Recline to eagle pose, lifting head and shoulders and catch your feet, your ankles, or just your knees, and catch what is available. And then recline back down again. Reclining back down again. And then now your right hip, right outer hip is getting a little bit more invitation to let go. And again, you can wiggle waggle about a bit. Using the breath directed into these areas that may just have gotten so used to hold on. And let's switch to the other side. Again, lift and catch. And again, a little wiggle, wiggle. Movement, stillness, and breath. The three ingredients that we use in our practice, and each have equal merit to invite ease. And then gently release. A little squeeze in again. And then take the feet onto your blankets for Supta, Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet are together. Hands to the lower belly. Breathing in and out. And just allow your legs to now slide out for Shavasana. And let them come to rest on the blanket support. You can roll the legs in a little bit or a lot of it. And as you relax your arms to the sides. Investigate, are you comfortable? Or are there parts of your body that would like more support? You may like to take one of your knee blankets for your head. You may like to take one of those blankets or a pillow to place on your lower abdomen. You can also place a block here if you want to feel a little bit more grounded in Shavasana. Now bring the thumbs to the index finger and the middle finger. Dhyana Vayu, the diffusing mudra, meaning that we are increasing circulation so that every cell in our body will benefit from our practice. We have unstuck some of these doors that were slammed shut and now invite in oxygen, nutrients, to every part. As you breathe in and out, the body is very busy at work, circulating through the cardiovascular system, the nervous system, the digestive system, constant movement. That's what we facilitate in our asana practice, that all these movements are maintained. We have flushed out the lymphatic system for a healthy immune system. So now we simply surrender to this work. Allow your hands to relax completely. And then gently begin to deepen your breath, maybe wiggling fingers and toes. Bending up your knees. You can place the feet on the blanket so you can hug them in if your back would like to be. Giving a bigger hug, draw them in, rock from side to side. So it's whatever supports you right now. And we'll roll all the way over onto the right or left if that feels better for your body today. And then using your arms and hands to press up into a comfortable seated posture. And we'll bring our palms together at heart center. And we'll close with 2 ohms and then Om Shanti 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 Om, to share energy, healing energy outward to our world, to our lives, and also inward. There is a lot of stuff happening right now. I don't understand why, but I know a lot of people are suffering tremendously. And we can feel really helpless in supporting them. So when we say this prayer, we bring the energy of healing towards them. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti 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 Om. And then exhale and bow your head towards your heart, where, according to the yoga philosophy, your inner light, the light that you invited to separate from the great divine, to become a part of you, so you could do what you need to do. Hold it tenderly, hold it dearly, and use it wisely. Let's draw the gaze up. Thank you, and namaste.